Hi, I'm Scott Stripling here with Dr. Michael Hasel. We're at ancient Shiloh. Dr. Hasel, you spent the day with us here, and we're walking around the site looking at architecture from the Iron Age, particularly here, the Iron Age 1. We're discussing what this might be. Israel Finkelstein thought that maybe these were storage rooms from the period of the tabernacle. It could be, but there are other possibilities, aren't there?
Yes, there are, and particularly with this kind of design with the pillars that you have here. Pillars obviously exist in storage rooms as well, but you have a lot of you have materials here that might point also to domestic housing, and very interesting, we have similar things in other places that we've excavated as well.
Okay, so Michael, you've excavated at Ekron, at Lachish, at Kirbet Kaiafa, Hatzor, so many places here in Israel. When you see domestic structures like this, and you find things, for example, like collared rim jars that were found here, while we can't say 100% that's evidence of Israelites, if you take that along with, say, the floral and faunal assemblage and things like this, we do get a good idea of what life was like in biblical times, don't we?
Absolutely, and it's very much so. And you know, the colored rim store jars have often been seen, at least historically, as an indicator of Israelite occupation. We have them in mostly Israelite houses across the country. And here, of course, you have not the typical four-room house, which probably comes a little bit later, but this could be domestic structures that are dating earlier as well. And of course, they would have had colored rim store jars in those as well as other implements that I see that you have here in this area too.
So we were looking earlier at a building that we think is a good candidate for the tabernacle. It's erected early in the Iron Age 1, around 1200, maybe a little bit before, a little bit after. And it's interesting, before that, we don't have domestic structures here. It's only when this building is built that we begin to see the appearance of these, kind of like that biblical idea of how can we build houses for ourselves when God still lives in a tent. So these are the things that occupy our minds. And if we weren't dead tired, we probably wouldn't sleep at night thinking about them. Michael, I want to ask about your digs and your projects. You're publishing your finds from Lachish right now. And what's next for you?
Well, we're still thinking about that, looking at the future. The pandemic obviously caused a break for all of us on those things, but certainly want to continue working here in Israel. There's so much more to find. There's so much more to discover. This is an amazing site, by the way.
Thank you.
Shiloh is just incredible. Just the historical, biblical connections that are here, and the work that you guys have done is fantastic. So we'll see what the next step is, and look forward to collaboration and working in the future together.
That's awesome. Website, how do people follow you? You're a professor at Southern Adventist. Got a great archaeology program there. In fact, we may even be sharing some things together in the near future. Tell folks what your website is and how they can get involved.
Thanks. We're at archaeology.southern.edu. Or southern.edu/archaeology. I think you can get to it different ways. And we have an Institute of Archaeology there, a museum. So if anybody's ever in the Chattanooga area and wants to see our new exhibit on our excavations at Tel Lachish and the Sennacherib campaign, as he came down to destroy Judah, we have that as a focus right now. And follow us on the website and see what we're going to be doing in the future.
Well, we've even had some of your students working with us this summer, so we're already collaborating. It's exciting. You guys that are watching, we appreciate you following us, and we'll be back again tomorrow from ancient Shiloh. I'm Scott Stripling. This is Michael Hasel. We'll see you tomorrow.